Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tamra judge bashed by RHOC fans for tattling to Andy Cohen. Tamra judge has found herself in hot water once again. This time, Real Housewives of Orange County fans are dragging her following the revelation that she called Bravo boss Andy Cohen to try to have a radio host fired. During an appearance on Vanderpump Rules star Sheena Shea's Skinanigans podcast, reality checked host Kiki Monique opened up about her interactions with the RHOC star. Kiki, who also hosts The Talk of Shame, says she opened up her phone recently to a series of DMs from Tamra. She asked her if she was the one hosting the show, but she was not because she was of the Tom Girardi trial. She said, "Were you hosting when someone called in and called Alexis a woe and said that I was a piece of shit? I was so mad, I contacted Andy." "What? Are you trying to get us fired from our jobs?" Kiki exclaimed. Before adding, she asked Tamra, "If I piss you off, can you come to me first without trying to get me fired? 'Cause I really need my job." After a clip of the story was posted online, fans quickly took to the comment section and were clearly Team Kiki. One fan pointed out the irony of the whole situation since Tamra talks about everything and everyone on her own podcast, Two Teas in a Pod. It's very rich that Tamra is calling Andy to complain about things this chick allegedly said, but has had seasons of her podcast talkings on everyone. Another fan added, "Tamra is a 58-year-old woman who's trying to get younger folks fired. What is going on? I can't believe she doesn't just ignore gossip. This is getting crazy. She's too old for this." A third added their thoughts on the backlash Tamra has been getting throughout the first half of the current season. "Sounds like Grammy Tammy is feeling a little paranoid. Maybe she's figuring out how badly RHOC fans want her gone. And she can take her trifling bestie Alexis with her. Bye-bye." Other fans even tagged Andy himself, begging him never to fire anyone on Tamra's behalf. Even Tamra's former bestie, Vicky Gunvalson, chimed in, writing, "Typical Tamra." Tamra's tactics clearly didn't work. Radio Andy still employs Kiki. Tell us, what do you think of Tamra trying to get Andy to fire Kiki? Do you think Tamra is worried about her orange? Sound off in the comments below. Tamra Judge has always been known as one of the more controversial personalities on the Real Housewives of Orange County, RHOC. But her latest move, Tattling to Watch What Happens live host and Bravo executive Andy Cohen, seems to have stirred up more than just a pot of drama. It's caused a full-blown social media uproar as RHOC fans take to various platforms to call out the housewife for what they consider betrayal and two-faced behavior. Here's a deep dive into how Tamra went from fan favorite to public enemy #1 again. In a recent episode of RHOC, Tamra had a fallout with co-star Shannon Beater, which was messy even by the franchise's standards. The two have had an on and off friendship over the years, but things escalated when Tamra accused Shannon of hiding her struggles and masking her real life for the cameras. Tamra felt that, unlike the rest of the women who exposed their lives in all their messy glory, Shannon was carefully curating her image to stay in viewers' good graces. This, Tamra argued, was not in line with the honesty the franchise supposedly stands for. Most fans were divided on the issue, with some siding with Tamra's push for transparency and others feeling that Shannon, like anyone, had a right to decide what she wanted to keep private. But the situation took a turn when, instead of settling things privately or even addressing it directly on the show, Tamra reportedly picked up the phone to give Andy Cohen a behind-the-scenes report on Shannon's alleged dishonesty. Not surprisingly, fans were quick to call Tamra out for what many deemed tattling. On social media, the backlash came swiftly. One Twitter user vented, "Tamra needs to get a life. Tattling to Andy is so high school. She's acting like a teacher's pet." Others suggested that Tamra's actions seem to stem from jealousy. "She's just mad that Shannon's loved by fans, and she isn't," said another fan on Instagram. The criticism didn't stop there. Fans questioned Tamra's motivations and what they see as a long history of manipulating situations to keep herself relevant in the spotlight. "Tamra's done this before," one fan pointed out on Reddit, reminding readers of the infamous naked wasted scene in Season 4, where Tamra famously encouraged her son Ryan to get Gretchen Rossi, another cast member, drunk as a way to humiliate her. Tamra's always been willing to throw others under the bus if it keeps her storyline interesting. This time she just took it to Andy. Tamra, for her part, seemed unfazed by the criticism, doubling down on her actions during an Instagram live session where she defended her phone call to Andy. "Listen, it's reality TV. If you're going to be on a show like RHOC, you need to show your real life. It's not fair to the rest of us who put everything out there," she said, hinting that she believes Shannon's selective sharing is part of a broader problem. Tamra also implied that her intention was to ensure the show remained authentic for viewers, not to throw Shannon under the bus. Still, fans aren't buying it. They've pointed out that Tamra's claim to be the keeper of authenticity rings hollow, considering her own reputation for stirring up drama, often at the expense of her friends. Some think Tamra's real issue is that she's struggling to keep her spot on the show relevant, and picking fights with cast members, and even escalating them to Andy, is one way to stay in the game. "She's terrified of becoming irrelevant," said a Bravo fan on Twitter. The tattling isn't about keeping it real. It's about Tamra not having enough storylines of her own. Tamra's phone call to Andy has also sparked an interesting conversation about how much influence certain cast members have behind the scenes. As an executive, Andy Cohen has the power to affect storylines, casting, and the overall direction of the show. Fans have speculated that by going to Andy directly, Tamra was not just seeking to expose Shannon, but hoping to sway the show's focus to her advantage. Tamra doesn't just want Shannon to be real, she wants Shannon to look bad, a fan observed on Instagram. And if she's able to get Andy on her side, she's hoping that will happen. The backlash against Tamra also brings up a larger conversation among Bravo fans about what's acceptable behavior for Housewives. Reality TV is built on drama and conflict, but some fans feel there's an unspoken rule: keep the drama within the cast and on camera. By stepping outside those boundaries and bringing Andy Cohen into her grievances, many fans feel Tamra crossed a line. "She's messing with the format," one Reddit user commented. "We watch these shows for their on-camera dynamics. If cast members are running to Andy about every little thing, then they're basically scripting the show off-screen." Meanwhile, Shannon has maintained a fairly quiet stance, a tactic that's only added to fan sympathy for her. She briefly responded to Tamra's criticisms on her own Instagram, writing, "I live my life the best I can, and what you see is what you get," and left it at that. Her composed response has earned her additional support, with many fans praising her for taking the high road. "Shannon's handling this with so much more grace than Tamra," a fan wrote on Facebook. "It just shows who the real adult is here." Despite the intense criticism, Tamra's move may ultimately work in her favor. The storyline has set social media ablaze, with fans arguing over who's in the wrong and what counts as real on reality TV. Whether intentional or not, Tamra's phone call to Andy has generated buzz around her, and, by extension, RHOC. The oak crate could mean more attention, and potentially more screen time, for Tamra, who's always thrived on being a polarizing figure. It's still too early to tell if this will have long-term consequences for Tamra, or if fans will forget about it as the season progresses. For now, Tamra seems committed to her approach, posting cryptic messages on Instagram about staying true and sharing selfies with the caption, "Love me or hate me, I'm still here." If history is any indication, Tamra isn't one to let criticism get in her way. And this latest episode seems to prove that she'll do whatever it takes to stay at the center of the RHOC universe. Fans' opinions be damned. Whether or not Tamra's tattletale moment will pay off in the ratings remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. It cemented her place as one of the most talked about housewives of the season, which may have been exactly what she wanted all along. After all, in the world of reality TV, there's no such thing as bad publicity.